Welcome, foolish creatures, to another episode of Hill City Paranormal. You'll hear spooky calls from our haunted hotline. Stories plucked from another dimension with tales from the beyond. Oddities galore in news from the beyond. And haunting interviews with your ghost host, Woody G. Watts. Welcome to Hill City Paranormal.
Welcome to another episode from Hill City Paranormal. I am your ghost host, Woody G. Watts. And I have been looking forward to today's interview for quite some time. First of all, before you listen to this interview, stop what you're doing, go to Instagram, and follow Brad's Instagram page, Squatch Watch BC. Okay? So go to that page, like it, follow it, whatever you call it for Instagram. Go down, watch some of his videos, get to know him, and then come back and listen to this interview, because I started following him quite some time ago, and just every video, his personality, everything, it's just, he's one of those personalities that just draws you in. Right now, Squatch Watch BC on Instagram, then come back and listen to this interview right here. Tell me how you started or how you got into Squatch Watch. And you kind of touched on this, but give me kind of like what made you do it. Rad Chad, give me some backstory on Squatch Watch.
Sure. So I've always been kind of a outside of the box thinker. And I remember as a child, I had my first encounter, and that's a whole nother thing, and we can touch on that. But I've always been outdoorsy. So put me out in the woods, let me figure stuff out, throw sticks at trees, whatever. So let me fast forward about 20 years and some change. I'm still doing the same stuff. People say that I'm kind of like a Peter Pan of sorts because I've had a failure to launch in some people's eyes, but it's no gimmick there. This is just me. Like, I care about what I care about, and I do what I like to do, and that's what works for me. But I hit a rough patch and kind of got into some depression, and I was, just drinking a lot, and I was like smoking weed every day, mainly because I just didn't want to deal with some feelings. And I kind of went on a bender one weekend. I got a place out in the woods, and that's what, like, my escape. So I was out there for like a weekend, right? And I'm squatching, and I'm just sending, sending Rad Chat just all these videos of just me doing me out in the bush. And he's like, "This is great. We need to share this." And I'm like, whatever, man. So he, launched the IG. So really, it's just, hey, this is what I'm already doing every other day. But, and that was like my last, now I'm going to rewind a little. That was like my last run-in with drugs and alcohol. So that was like almost 2 years ago. So I'm in recovery, and I'm, proudly a sponsor to people, and I speak at, jails or institutions. And,
that's fantastic.
I walk that. Yeah, man, because it's, we all have problems, right?
Yeah.
And you're like, I'm all alone. It's like, no, man. I just try to spread love and spread the word. Like, at the end of the day, who are you? Okay, check. What do you like to do? Okay, do more of that. And then, just wherever the chips fall, let them be. But, squatching is just something I enjoy because it encompasses all of my favorite things. Like the unknown, like what the hell is going on out there? That's one of them. Number 2, seclusion in the woods. Survival, 3. And then just not having much responsibility and screwing around.
Well, all right. So tell me, I'm going to touch on some of your videos that I'm a huge fan of. And honestly, whenever you post to Instagram, I always I start giggling right away. Like I know that, you're genuine and you're just being you, but man, your sense of humor, it is fantastic. And what you do out there, I think like you just touched on it where you can go out there and you just don't care. You're doing you, and if people respond, good. If they don't, hey, you're just going to keep doing you.
Yeah, man,
So,
that gets me stoked. What you just said.
so
Thank
tell
you.
us.
I appreciate
So
that.
tell me, yeah, man. So tell me Tell me your first Squatch experience. You said when you were little, you had an experience.
Yeah, man. So I'm out at the place in the woods, which I just touched on, ground zero for my bender, and I remember I was there with my brother, my mom, and I think our friend Ronnie that we used to hang out with was there too. But anyways, we had this book that it was like our own compiled nudie magazine, right? So
Yeah.
me and probably like six or seven other kids around that age, we would like share it, right? So
Yeah.
there was actually no naked women in it. It was just like the best of the best, like bra circular ads and a couple pages of a swimsuit edition.
Yeah.
But it was my weekend with it, right? So I remember my mom was at the cabin. We got a good chunk of property on the water, on like a river. So she's at the cabin. She was making tacos that night. I remember all of this very vividly. I remember there was like Free Willy 2 on VHS that we were going to watch that night. And my brother and Ronnie kind of like clicked up and they were like, oh, let's go shoot BB guns. And it was my weekend with that book. So I was like, well, I'm going to, sneak this book down by the water there and just thumb through the pages. Nothing dirty. Just, hey, let me see what this is all about. And then I remember I'm like trucking down by the water, probably about, 200 yards from the cabin. And on the other side of what would be maybe like a 15-foot wide body of water that was running like a stream, I see, if you look at it out of the corner of your eye, you see something unnatural there. I couldn't put my finger on it if that was, in fact, Squatch. I just saw something where it's like, I don't know if that's going to move or if that's just part of the foliage. And then I'm looking at it. The more I'm looking at it, this thing moves, and I kind of see a head kick, and I see what looks like a face of whatever you would imagine a Squatch would look like. And being that young, I bolted, dude. I was like out of there. Like, this is the end of the world. This is how it ends for me. I'm gonna get like something thrown at me. So like you're just almost like when you're running up the stairs from the basement. I even do it as a grown man. Like I'm trucking, dude. I don't know what's back there. So that would be my first run in. And ever since then, I've wanted to know more. And I live with this regret of not entertaining that interaction more because, well, obviously I'm a kid and I just saw fucking Harry and the Hendersons, right over across the spill there. So it was very terrifying, to be honest. And I've had other encounters since. Nothing that like I can see what you look like type of encounter where it was just clear as day. And of course, no one believed me, which was fine.
Well, it's interesting, like you say that because I've interviewed a couple of people that have, like alien abduction stories, right? And you would think that they would come away like, oh, I can't believe, that I'm sad that happened to me or whatever. But really, the majority of people that have had experiences or encounters, they look back and they're kind of sad that they didn't, I guess, recognize it for what it was, and they wish it would happen again. So this time they could take a look and actually be in the moment instead of like what all of us would do is just take off running.
Right. It's that natural human reaction. We're like, oh, it's a monster. I should, fight or flight. And I'm not trying to fight no Squatch, but it looked huge from where I was to where it was. Like I said, I didn't expect anything to move, and when it did, and that head kicked over and looked at me, I was like, "Whew, he gone, dude." I was out of there.
So, all right, so that happened when you were young, and that started your love for all things Squatch, right? So you've been kind of squatching since. So tell me how do you squatch? Because, and first of all, your videos, like, you've got some pretty interesting tips for people, like your tactical gear, your slingshot. So tell me, like, what is a typical outing for you going squatching?
Guess depends on the location. Typically, I'm just creeping around in the woods. I don't set up shop too much and just post up like I'm waiting for something to happen. I go find something. Investigating, looking at Squatch snaps, possible evidence. Really just dialing in, man. What am I hearing? What am I seeing? And then I just kind of like life. I just kind of bump around and do stuff I like. Like, all right, well, yeah, I'm not getting much action. I'm just gonna shoot some slingshot, or I'm gonna, have a snack. But mainly, hey, I'm feeding my machine by being out there. I'll roll tape once in a while. You probably see like 2% of actually what goes on. I like night squatching just because I can freak myself out. Just being in the dark sometimes in the woods. Again, it's like the basement, running up the stairs, you don't know what's back there.
Yeah.
I get the same feeling too if I'm swimming in like really deep water, like in a lake. I know there's nothing in a lake that's going to eat me, but I'm like, I can't touch the bottom. I can't see nothing. You feel a little bit of seaweed. You're like, oh, no thanks, man. I'm going to keep it shallow. But yeah, dude, that's it in a nutshell. I mean, there's some squatch calling I've done. It's more, I feel like in a relationship, like when you're trying to find a girl, it doesn't happen. But when it's a moment when you're like, I'm straight, dude, that's when, someone comes along and you're like, oh my God, I'm in love.
That's such a great point.
Yeah. You can't try too hard, man, because it'll never happen. It's got it organically. Like that first time for me, it just fell into my lap. So you can't have anything fall into your lap if your lap's not available for falling. So being in the bush, dude, my lap's wide open. What do you got? And Rad Chad, he can't be on today, but he feeds me a lot too. He's like, dude, I read on this forum, you got to go check this out. I've traveled for this. I've rented boats, and you got to go 2 miles this way, and then there's this little island. Go check that out. So my finger's on the pulse, but it's all about adventure and creating these chapters and this invisible book of my life that I feel is pretty sick.
God, that's awesome. Yeah, that is. I mean, you really summed it up for me too. Like that is a great point, because really that's when this stuff happens. That's when when we least expect it. The adventures that we really didn't plan, they were just out in the middle of the woods having fun. And that's why I think that's why people are so they're so unprepared for when it does happen. And I know it's a joke, but like blurry photos and stuff like that, like it's completely excusable in my opinion, because like you said, stuff just happens. And how many times are we actually really ready with a 4K camera set up to get that one moment that is in such a small percentage of actually happening?
Yeah, that never happens.
Yeah.
So my thought is like kind of like that movie Final Destination, where those kids like cheat death or whatever. It's like if I can cheat the universe, because the universe is like, oh, he thinks he's going to see something today. Yeah, right. So if I go out there and I have the intention of just screwing around, hanging out, but then something happens, but secretly I'm actually prepared. Come on, game over, dude.
All right, so tell me what do you do to prepare gear wise? Like, tell me like your typical bag of goodies that you take with you out in the woods.
Usually a few meat sticks, like these hunter sausages that I get at Costco. They come in a huge bag, but a few of those, slingshot, couple knives, basic cordage, and then sometimes I'll bring some bait. I'll try different things. And outside of that, man, it's all just one-offs. I would say those are the staples. I carry around a picture of this kid, Ronnie, I went to high school with, and that kid that came with me to the cabin just because he's the worst human being in the world, and I don't know why I carry it. A lot of people ask me like, why do you always have him with you? I fucking hate him. I don't know. But yeah, he's not a good person. But
yeah. So you just
one day that's going to serve a purpose, and be like, why do you have Ronnie's basketball picture from like '98 in your waist pouch? I don't know. Why not? So
tell me you're thinking like, what's the slingshot for? Like, why is that like a vital piece? Because you're a really good shot with it. I saw that.
Thanks, man. Yeah. So with that, it's fun. Number one. Number two, that's what I bought with my Fauci bucks the first time the government cheesed us out for COVID. I'm just like, I gotta get something cool. I saw the slingshot, so I just got surgical with it, and it's always on me. I could hit something really far away with it. Ammo's cheap, and if I run out of ammo, then I can find some smooth rocks. But it's always cool to have, and if you're talking to someone, you're like, oh, I bet you can't hit that, and then you're just like, ping, and yeah, just did that actually. So what's next? But yeah, all in all, it's fun. I enjoy it.
Yeah. So tell me, you're definitely a believer in Bigfoot and Squatch, right? So tell me, like, what about the other cryptids out there, like Mothman, Yeti, Chupacabra? Tell me, like, what are your thoughts on the more unexplained?
I think they're fascinating, and I'm sure I'll get a lot of cancel culture pushback on this, but I don't know if I buy into all of them. Is there a possibility? Sure. There's some that have like some serious lineage and history that's been documented. So it's like, okay, well, maybe there's something there. Or are they variations of Squatch? Does that account from those Native Americans however long ago? Did they see that? Or was it just like Squatch and they thought they saw that? I don't know. I feel anything's possible. Anything could happen. Anything could be real. I think aliens 1,050% are real.
Yeah.
I mean, there's no question about that. I mean, even like the mainstream media is teasing it. So yeah, that's a thing. But that gets me down a whole nother rabbit hole. Like, where are we? Why are we here? What's going on in Antarctica? Why is it going on there?
Yeah.
I mean, the ghosts, the paranormal side of it, I don't know, dude, anything's possible. But sometimes with the cryptids, I'll read about some new stuff, and it's almost like Garbage Pail Kids. You're like, oh, there's another one. I'm sure, like some dude's just making them up. Like, oh, did you hear about, the hamster genie? And he's like, he's little, but I don't know, he can fly. Like, where's your backstory, man?
The hamster genie. That would make a cool shirt, though. The hamster genie.
It would be. You'd have to have like a turban on too.
Yeah. So I mean, so you have an open mind, but you also realize that like it can kind of get out of hand quick. And but if you saw one, like it wouldn't be that big of a surprise.
No, I don't think I mean, I'd probably be scared for sure, because it'd be something foreign. Like Mothman, that was a great movie too. Mothman Prophecies.
Oh yeah, with
on that.
Richard Gere, right? Wasn't he in that?
Yeah. John Klein, and I remember that creeped me out. But yeah. I mean, I would love to just be 1,000% sure that all of these things exist, because that just creates so much more question to our existence. Like, okay, well, why is there a Mothman? Why is there a Dogman? Where'd they come from? They have kids, they have friends. What do they like to do? So that just opens this Pandora's box of possibility and imagination. And that's why I love this stuff so much, because it's magical. And there's these little breadcrumbs of like, this could be something here, and I feel like the movement of just cryptid in general is just growing. People are becoming more and more fascinated and more dialed in. And, you know, people are out in the woods, and that's good. Like, get out there, ask questions, poke around, you know, make some noise. Because if we're not, who's going to?
That's
even if the government was like, yeah, we got like 2 or 3 Mothmans, you know, at Langley or whatever, they're never going to tell us. Yeah, I wait for the day of the undisputable evidence of something that is not normal. Like, I mean, it's normal to us, but to other people where they're like, oh my God, Grandma, did you see, you know, the Dogman video? And she'd probably be like, oh, that's fake. That's fake news. But
well, you know, that's an interest. Yeah. Because think about now, like we're to the point where even if they did come out and say, hey, we have a Mothman body, here you go. There's like half would believe it and half wouldn't. Like, even if they came out with it and literally showed it on TV, it's like, nah, that's not real.
Right. It'd almost be like you'd have to have it, like you'd either have to have it a mass viewing, like the next, you know, Burning Man, like, oh, by the way, here's Mothman, and all these people see it, or just several encounters, or, you know, a trusted public figure to like, yeah, man, he's fucking real. He's right here next to me, and I'm talking to him right now. Where you could like live stream him and be like, hey, tug on his face. I'm gonna make sure it's not a man.
Yeah.
I don't know. I would love to think that people would have an open mind, but you know, the age we live in, it's everything has a high probability of being fake. You know, like with like the deep fake videos and all that. You don't even know what's real. All you can do is rely on your community of fellow people like yourselves who are like, yeah, dude, I saw it like, you know, 4 or 5 times. And where you don't question it. You're just like, that's the shit.
Yep.
That's awesome.
I just had a thought. Like, what if like this could be a whole nother conversation of like, you know, especially through COVID-19 and stuff like that, where we're almost everybody really doesn't know what's real, or they don't think they know what's real and what's not. But like, what if like this has been setting us up for some even bigger bombshells to be released in the next few years, and then you just always are living in a state of we don't know if it's real or not. You know, like if it's like if everything were shown, you're always on that line of maybe not, and then it's not really a shock.
Oh, for sure, dude. We've been groomed to be this way, to be uncertain. I personally believe that there'll be some bombshells. You know, there's too many teasers out there. There's too much talk about it, especially with aliens. I think we're going to see some alien action here sooner than later, which is cool. But then it's like, okay, is it real? Is it hologram? Is it CGI? Is it, you know, we don't know. We don't know. So that's kind of messed up the way you put that. Like, now I'm thinking that, and it's like, yeah, dude, even then, if someone showed you a video and, you know, we realized it was not tampered with, people would still be like, yeah, I don't think so.
Yeah, it's a conspiracy. You would literally have half believe, half wouldn't, and then the majority of people would just be living in between. And then like you would have this huge like event happen that is just the biggest event ever, and that it wouldn't even be a big event because we're so numb to everything now where okay, cool. It's like, oh, zombies exist. Okay, all right, well, what's next? You know, like it's nothing's even a shock. Like even 2 years ago, people would have thought like, oh my God, like, you know, but like now it's like, yeah, whatever.
Right. It's astounding, really. I mean, how much more evidence do you need? So let's say, I think the end all be all would be, okay, if we had an alien invasion and, you know, there was lasers and, you know, you can't deny it. There's like, things are on fire. But that's like the absolute worst case scenario to where, hey, you're probably going to die. Do you believe yet? Type of thing.
Yeah. But it would almost have to happen on a global scale at one time, and just about everyone see it at the same time.
Yeah, like that Will Smith movie.
Yeah.
Independence Day. Yeah, for sure. I mean, outside of that, people just don't want to believe things. There's a word for it, cognitive dissonance. They don't want to buy into stuff that is not of their typical thinking, or that's uncomfortable or hard to believe, even though it's there, man. But hey, that's where, I feel like we're cut from a different cloth, because if you're not open-minded, then you're going to miss a lot of shit.
That's it.
Enjoy your bubble that you live in.
That's right.
That's cool.
So have you had any other, so you're a believer in Squatch, you had an experience. Have you ever had a paranormal ghost experience? Do you ever go ghost hunting or anything? It's hard to go UFO hunting. I guess you could look up, at night, but like ghost hunting, is that a thing for you?
Yes and no. Yes, because I mean, creepy things happen all the time. Just being out in the bush, especially at night. I don't know. Nighttime is something more appealing to paranormal stuff, or it seems like that's when the action happens. But that's also when your mind can play tricks on you.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't actively, ghost hunt. I did once or twice, and so there was this abandoned train station in Detroit that me and Ryan and Chris and Kyle, we went into. We were in a band at the time. We were like, oh, let's go take our promo pics, on the top of the train station, and left Detroit behind us. And so we did, and there's just a whole handful of unexplainable things that happened. I mean, it was decrepit, it's run down, it's the epitome of spooky. And I don't know, man. I don't like being scared.
Yeah.
I feel like a Squatch obviously has a brain. A Squatch has, a nervous system. A Squatch breathes. When you're talking about ghosts, man, you're like, I don't even know what you're capable of. I'm not sure I want to mess with that. I'm not going to go poking around in your business.
Yeah.
Let's just coexist and, stay on your side of the fence. But yeah, I don't think I would do well in that space.
Yeah. So what?
I mean, would you? Like, what if a ghost rolled up on you?
No, I'm the same way, man. I'm like you. Like I'll just make an umbrella statement, like cryptids, right? If a Mothman existed and was flying above, I would know that it is a real thing, like you said. It has a brain. It can. In my mind, I would like to think I could possibly have a chance to outrun it or something. I don't know, like outthink it. I don't know. Yeah, but if like the spirit energy, like demons, stuff like that, I don't really mess. I'm like that. I don't mess with that too much. I don't go in poking around, yelling, talking. I know other people have different methods, and that is completely fine.
They talk shit to them, and then like, aren't you gonna do something? Come on, dude, what are you doing? You're making me uncomfortable.
And I respect their methods, but for me, I'm like that. I can't do that because I don't know what they're capable of. They could literally pick me up and throw me out of the building, and you never know. Like even in the worst scenario, and the same thing though is like I like being scared, but I also like being in my own control of being scared, I guess, is the way of putting it.
That makes sense. Like going to a haunted house or something, or watching scary movies.
Yeah, exactly. Like I can push pause when I want to, or I can leave, or like Disney World's Haunted Mansion. I love that. That's great for me. But when you start poking around and stirring stuff up, I think for me that's where I don't operate well in that space. But in the middle of the woods, looking around and, like you said, discovering a new creature. Now that new creature could possibly tear you apart, but I kind of like living in that space. But But I will investigate an abandoned house or building in a heartbeat and take a night vision camera. And if I did catch anything, it's that to me is more tangible, just like a squash. Like if you do find a footprint or hard evidence, and for me and my background, like I do video production, so for me, I always have to see it. So like if I ever do a ghost hunt or an investigation, I've got to see it on camera. The other stuff just is my mind playing tricks on me, and I usually don't put too much weight into it.
Right. Now, have you ever had the type of experience, and I don't know if this is normal, but there's been a couple times. Okay. Here's this one time. Creeped me out. And I'm not like a super spiritual person, you know, but I was laying in bed, and in my dream, which I thought was a dream, someone yelled like right in my ear. And it sounded like they were really yelling in my ear, but they yelled this. They go, Fred. And then they said, John 3, whatever, with the verse. I've written that somewhere, but it was some, you know, direct link.
Yeah.
To the, I got goosebumps right now just talking about it. A direct link to, you know, this passage in the book. And it was exactly what I was going through at that time, because this was when I was, you know, in the lowest point in my life, and I was just feeling rotten, and it was astounding. And I don't know if that's the Lord's work. I don't know if that was something paranormal, but it is like someone was straight up yelling in my ear,
telling you to, Oh, well,
that's all it was. It's like, Brad, here's this verse. And
John 3:16, right? Yeah, that's the Well, because for me, it's so interesting on the ghost part of it, because I am spiritual and I am a Christian, and so for me, you know, my beliefs, I believe people, you know, go to heaven or hell, and there really is no in between. So for the most part, and for ghosts, for me, are typically either, I guess. And I don't know, I'm always open to any conversation. Like I said, I talk to everybody and love hearing their thoughts. But like, to me, if something does, like, I don't know, like come to be, is a being or presence, that it is usually not a positive one, right? But I've never experienced that. So I can't say like that I've walked in and then like seen an actual something, you know, and felt it. But I have been in places where you felt that something horrible happened there. You feel it. You feel the energy. So so it's always an interesting battle for me being on the spiritual side, because it's like, you know, until I see a Slimer come through it, I'm usually really hesitant. But if something did happen, I think my initial reaction would be, oh my God, that's like that could be pure evil. I need to leave. Like, I don't want to mess with it, you know?
Yeah, man. That's the real thing. You get those bad vibes, and, you know, that's happened so many times. You're like, I don't know why, but I got to get the hell out of here right now.
Yep.
And, you know, they're like, oh, why? Well, what's wrong? What's going on? I don't know, man. I got to bounce. Not good stuff here.
Yeah.
And that could be at someone's house. Yeah. They'd be like, oh, you're just being antisocial. Like, no, dude. I'm fucking going home, and I'll see you later. But that's how I'm wired. I act on impulse. I'm dialed in. I'm listening more than I'm feeling. I'm just always catching the vibe. How's this situation? What kind of energy am I getting from, you know, Eric right now? And I'm very empath in that respect, where I can vibe with you. I can get a pulse on how you're feeling, and I can either remove myself or I can help you out. But that's one of my gifts. Like, I can easily identify that.
That's awesome.
But and for places too, man. Like you said, when we were in that old train station and we saw, you know, spray painted on the wall in the basement, I killed Christine here, and then a smiley face. I was like, phew.
Yeah.
All right. And there's some shoes laying over there that are probably circa 98. We should probably get out of here now.
Yeah, it's time to go. I don't like one of the theories, like the stone tape theory, where the energy kind of gets implanted into the environment around it. So like if you were to walk on like just a mass murder killing site, that the rocks or stones would carry that energy. I'm like completely butchering it, but you kind of get to the point. But I think that is real. I absolutely, like you said, like you walk into an abandoned train station and something happened there, dude, you get the vibe and you go. Some people want to hang around and they can do that, and that's completely okay. But yeah, I think we're on the same page. I would leave before I would stay.
For sure. Yeah, dude, because if you're already feeling like that and nothing's happened yet, like that, you gotta keep your ears open, man. You gotta be listening. We're being given cues and nods every day. And like either you're dialed in and you're getting that transmission from higher power or whatever that may be, or you're just going through the motions, dude. Like, yeah. I don't think I'm gonna go out in the bush today, but if I feel so inclined to later, I'm gonna act on that impulse and I'm gonna go in the bush because I'm supposed to be there.
Yeah. So what's in the future for Brad? Like what do you got? What do you have planned? Like what do you hope to see one day? Like tell me like what's on your books?
It's a question of my life, actually. What's next? I don't know, man. I mean, right now I'm good where I'm at. I've got some stuff I'm working on in terms of, I wish MTV were still a thing because I always saw myself as being like a DJ.
Yeah.
And like doing rock and jock and stuff or being on like Real World. But so that's not a thing. Honestly, man, I don't know. I just, whatever I do, I just want to be content and happy and present. I wouldn't want to work a job to where I work all day and I come home and I'm too tired to do anything. So I just sit there. Like that doesn't appeal to me. I'd rather live and struggle, financially or, emotionally than relationship wise, or than just to be doing some shit that not feed my fire.
Yeah.
So in a perfect world, I get some concrete evidence, that undisputable or, a tape or something. And then I just do like the convention circuit. Like, oh yeah, did you hear about the Brad video? That's what I'd ultimately like, to have that Brad video to where
Brad video.
People are writing, and they're like, oh yeah, I saw that. It's undisputable. And most people would be like, yeah, that is. But then there'd be the haters that, no man, he did that in his computer somehow. So.
Man, we're on the same page. I like where your head's at. That's about right.
Yeah, I mean, I wish I could say, yeah, we're getting ready to film this thing. It's like, nah, man. No, I've got some ideas. I mean, short term, yeah, I'm going. I'll be at the place in the woods next weekend, and there'll probably be some great content that comes out of that. But ultimately, just doing what I need to do at this current point in my life.
Yeah. Well, I would love to go squatching with you, man. If I'm ever up there or if you're ever in Virginia, let me know. We will make it happen because I think that would be that would be it for me. Cause you're the way you squatch is the way that's the way I like it.
I'm all about it, man. Just have fun, have fun and, shoot some stuff with a slingshot, set some booby traps. Something might jump into it, might not. Who knows?
That's right.
Be ready without letting the universe know that you're ready. And I feel like that could pertain to anything in anyone's life. Like you're getting into a fist fight, someone's like being rowdy. You act like you're not ready, and then you just knock someone's lights out. And they're like, oh, he was like low key ready for that. Now I'm all knocked out. So.
Dude, I would love that's life advice, man. That's life advice right there.
Yeah, trick the universe.
Man,
So,
that's awesome.
Are you
man,
are you working on anything? Anything you want to talk about?
you know what? I really, it's the same as you, the same way you put it. Like I'm self-employed. So for me, because I could not fit into that 9 to 5 working all the time. And it was draining my soul. And so I've been blessed to be able to do what I love with videos and marketing and commercials on my own. And I'm the same way. Like I would like to have that tape or do something and then go around and talk to people, meet people. And because if Instagram is any indication of this community, like I want to meet everybody because like this is an amazing community that people just, like you said, they have open minds. They like talking about stuff and like, yeah, I'm on the same wavelength you are. Get that tape, go around, talk to people, do some cool stuff, and just kind of live in a cabin in the woods.
Yeah, for sure. And I say that a lot. If I'm doing a talk at like an NA meeting or something, be like, hey, you're home. You're with the people that understand you. There you will never find another group of people like the ones in this room that understand you and have been there. So it's the same thing, just on a grander scale. But yeah, I almost forgot. I wanted to can I do a quick plug?
Absolutely.
Yeah, I wanted to give a shout out to Rad Chad's band Possum Belly at Possum Belly, and they're on IG, but they've been on the radio in Detroit, and they're doing some music videos, and yeah, he's making that happen. I'm super stoked for him. But yeah, since he can't be here, I'm trying to do my homeboy a solid.
Yeah,
so check them out if you can. They're pretty sweet.
I will, and tell people where to follow you at, and just watch your Squatch adventures.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, so we're on Instagram, HCP / Instagram, but the tag is Squatch Watch BC. BC meaning Brad Carlton. That's me.
That's it, man.
So Squatch Watch BC. And then holler at your boy. I read a lot of viewer mail, so if you want to send me some mail or whatever, that's cool too.
Brad, it's been awesome talking to you. I want to hang out with you and go squatching even more now. So, man, I look forward to the day that we could finally meet up.
All right, brother. Yeah, man, me too. Let's cross paths again, and I wish you well, brother, and keep doing you. And thank you again for all the dope stuff you sent me. And yeah, you got some good vibes coming off you, man. Something big's coming for you. I can feel it.
Thank you, man. Thank you. I really appreciate that. Same to you, man. Thank you so much.
Be sure to check out our website at hillcityparanormal.com and call our haunted hotline at 701-HAUNTED. That's 701-428-6833. With your spooky tale, we're dying to hear it. Thank you for listening to Hill City Paranormal.